I'm going to need non-ethanol. Thank you.
Do you want a paper towel?
Sure. That'd be great. Thank you. Oh, crap. That just shot up. Oh, crap. Oh, well, shit. That just shot up. Yeah. Thank you. Wow, that's never happened before.
Yeah, I've never seen that either.
I put it in at a different angle, so maybe that's what happened. I don't know. Oh well, I'll give you this back.
Do you want a receipt?
No, I'm good. Hopefully I don't catch on fire. What?
You want a few more paper towels?
No, I'll be good. I'll just wipe it off real quick. And hopefully I don't catch on fire. Kind of warm.
It's not cold, it's just kind of annoyingly windy. I might stop and put my other layer back on. I didn't. When I stop, I get cold, or I get warm. But when I'm moving, I'm freezing. Well, I'm not freezing, but it's like it's cold. The dynamic range of temperature. It's sunny enough to be not freezing, but it's just uncomfortably cold. Oh, he's a Marine. Didn't even notice that. There's the St. Anne Greek Church. So I went in there last time I came up here. See what's in here. Arboretum Drive or Arboretum Road. Hold on. I'm gonna pull over. Oh, it's still on there. Okay. So that did nothing. Oh, there's mountains over there. Ah, you know what? Fuck it. Let's go check out this road. I mean, that's one of the kind of cool things about riding a motorcycle is that you really can go anywhere. You have the freedom to go anywhere. It's fuel efficient enough so that taking a road trip is cheap. It's really freaking cheap. Now, and you know, getting around town is really cheap too. And like, I've been talking to my friends, and they're like, you know, why get a motorcycle? It's just a sinkhole for money. And it's like, I mean, kinda. I mean, I haven't spent all that much on this motorcycle. I spent $1,900 for the bike itself. Insurance is about $60 a month, which I don't know. I guess that's okay. It's a little more expensive than the other insurance I pay for, but I mean, not that much. And it's like, yeah, I get to go anywhere I want. I mean, parking this thing is just a godsend. I can just tuck this anywhere I want. I can go anywhere I want with this, basically. The only place I can't take this motorcycle in particular is like off-road or dirt road or whatever. That's the only place I can't take it, and maybe one day I'll get another bike where I can do that. I don't know. It's not that expensive. It's not a money pit necessarily. Mostly because I'm frugal and I only do things, maintenance and stuff that I need to do. I only get what I need. I don't buy ridiculous mods. I don't buy like exhausts that make my engine roar. I don't care about that. I'm comfortable with my dick size. I don't need anything to accentuate it. That's just not my thing. Or, you know, painting it. I like, you know, whatever. Okay, the bike, if that's what you're into, if you're into making the bike look a certain way, okay, cool. I'm not into that. I don't care. The only money pit I've had trouble with is installing saddlebags, and that's because I'm just kind of retarded when it comes to that type of stuff. Like, I need very clear instructions on how to do it. If I have clear instructions on how to do it, I can do it just fine. Wow, that was really crappy takeoff. There we go. I've been riding so bad today. I don't know why. Maybe it's because it's dry and I'm just so acting like a big pussy. God, it's been popping a lot too. I don't know what the deal is. But I mean, I don't spend money on frivolous stuff with my bike, and so it's been very cheap. Probably the most expensive thing is the tires. The second most expensive thing I bought were tires, and then my helmet and my jacket, third and fourth. It's like necessary gear. But if I drove, I mean, like, just taking the cost for the bike alone, I get 50 miles to the gallon with this thing. I maybe get on a good, if I'm going highway cruising speeds the entire time with either of my SUVs, I'm getting maybe 15 miles to the gallon, maybe 20 if I'm being really, if it's just a straight line, maybe. I've only done that a couple times though, but it's like this thing gets 50 miles to the gallon. And so, like, I did the gas calculation. I actually have to drive this thing for like 30 weeks, like, or so. I mean, gas prices fluctuate, obviously, but, 30 to 40 weeks. And it will have paid for itself in gas costs. As opposed to my SUV, if I had taken my SUV in trips. So, I mean, it's like, that, it's like, and then after that, I'm not riding for free, obviously, it's still a cost. But it's just like, the cost differentials. Wow, I'm retarded. But, those cost differences, it's like, over time, it just becomes cheaper to ride the motorcycle. It becomes cheaper over time to ride the motorcycle. And, like, if I want to take a day trip like this, it's like, if I had taken my Suburban, that would have been really expensive. My Chevy Blazer, that would have been it would have been a little more expensive because it's an older car, so maintenance costs and all that. This thing is like, all the maintenance, save for the tires, I've done myself. And so the maintenance is just the cost of parts in whatever time I'm willing to devote to it. I don't have to pay for a mechanic, and I don't have to leave the bike anywhere. It's like I can just fix the bike up at my house at my own leisure when I want to. So, I don't know. It's not crazy costs or anything. It's been really cheap, and like I said, I can take these day trips wherever I want to go. Like, I would have never driven out here with my car. I would have never decided, I'm just going to drive out here in my SUV. Now, people say, well, yeah, it's not 100% practical, and you're right, it's not a 100% practical vehicle. If I want to go move a couch, I'm not moving it on the bike. Yeah. If I need, like, when I moved all my stuff down here, I had to make multiple trips because I had to get my bike down here, I had to get all my stuff down here. Yeah, it's like, at that point, and I was lucky that I had two SUVs. It's like, I had two sports utility vehicles. I had my Chevy Suburban and my Chevy Blazer. And it's like, at that point, yeah, it's really, but that's really expensive, and not many people are in the same situation that I am. Here, go ahead, pass me. Or don't. He seems way more competent than I do. Going the opposite way. I don't that was weird, but I mean, it's like, but I would have never taken a trip like this. I would have never seen this area. I've never been here before. It's kind of cool to see all this stuff. It's kind of cool to see new places, not just the same scenery over and over again. you know, if I want to take a big camping trip, or I go hike out in the woods and I take a big backpack, yeah, I'll take I'll take my car and I'll go park it someplace, because parking out in the middle of nowhere, that's not the issue. I don't know, it's just, and it's a lot of fun. It's like, you know, driving a car, when you first get a car, yeah, driving is fun. And road tripping is fun, but it's just like when you're commuting, it's not fun at all. Commuting is not fun, and that's why you tune it out with like radio or a podcast. You listen to a podcast or the radio or music or whatever. It's like, it gets boring. Sometimes I'll listen to stuff on the bike, but that's just because like it's cathartic. But riding the bike itself can be a cathartic kind of activity. North Albany Road. Am I in Albany? Weird. I don't know. So when people say bikes are a money pit, it's like, yeah, they can be a money pit. If you're not, but anything can be a money pit. I watched a video the other day about why cars are a money pit. It was an Adam Ruins Everything vehicle, and they talk like whenever anyone brings up cars, they always bring up transportation in European countries and like how transit there is so awesome. You can take the train and go anywhere, and you don't have to own a car. Blah blah blah. It's like, yeah, but you can't go anywhere outside of your city. You can't leave your city, really. It's more difficult. Yeah, you can take like a high-speed train or whatever, but those are really really expensive. And the government subsidizes a lot of it through taxes. That's one of the reasons why taxes are so high in those countries. And it's like, when you own your own means... Oh, I know where I am. Okay, I did go to Albany somehow. Well, this is interesting. Like I said, I would have never found out this way. I'm never going to take that way to get to Albany, because getting to Albany that way is the long way. It's a long ways to get to Albany this way. That way, but I wasn't even planning on coming to Albany, but, you know, screw it. Like I said, I would have never planned to come out here. I wasn't planning on coming to Albany, but here I am. Now I'll go ride around Albany. I might turn around though and go back in the country. I don't want to ride in the city necessarily. But anyways, it's like, and the other thing is, their cities, the way their cities are planned out, they're way more dense than our cities. They live in way tighter conditions, and I honestly would hate living in a European city. It's like, I live in where I live in Corvallis, it's like, I hate how there's people walking around and being loud at night. I hate that, and I go yell at people all the time to shut up, because it's like, God. And I hate that. Where I lived in Corvallis, when I was here in 2012, 2013, I lived right next to the freeway, or not a freeway, but it was the main road through the city, and it was just like, it was just loud, and it didn't bother me too much, but it's like, I would not want to live there. And I kind of chose not to live there when I came to live here the second time. So, I don't know, it's like, everyone talks about how great transit in Europe is, but it's great if you're visiting. It's It's fantastic if you're a tourist. There's the Albany Courthouse. Or the Lynn County Courthouse. I kind of find it funny how Corvallis and Albany are so close, and the courthouses, the Benton County Courthouse is right next to the Lynn County Courthouse. I'm gonna let this Jeep go first. But it's I'm gonna get back on that road, go the opposite way. And I don't think Europeans are particularly happy with how they are. It's just the circumstance of how their cities grew and the natural growth of their cities from these ancient medieval cities. And their suburbs are far more, they look more like American suburbs. They're more sparse and spread out, more of that urban sprawl that everyone hates. But I mean, I think Americans are way happier, and I think the reason why suburbs tend to look that way is because that's the way people want to live more. That's just the natural outgrowth of how... What? Oh, I hit the kill switch. Wow. Another rookie move. Rookie moves. I spilled a little bit of gas. I've killed my bike twice today. Today's been a rookie day for riding. What a rookie day for riding. But in comparison to America, where owning a car, it can be expensive. Like I was saying with the motorcycle, if you're stupid, if you buy garbage, you buy pointless crap, spend money on, cosmetic BS that really nobody cares about, huge V8 engines and all that stuff. Yeah, it can be expensive. It can be, go to track days. Yeah, it can be expensive, but if you're frugal with your money, owning a car can be pretty cheap. You can buy a used car pretty cheap if you have the internet and any amount of initiative to work on your own vehicle. Maintenance can be cheap to a certain extent. I mean, you can't do everything necessarily. I don't know how to change a head gasket, so if my head gasket blows on any of my vehicles, it can be expensive. It's going to be an expensive fix. But okay, before I drove, I worked at a doctor's office. I was like I was basically the front desk person. I would, whatever they call it, the secretary, I don't know. But my job was basically North Albany Village. Yeah, this is Albany. But my job was basically, sign people in, schedule new appointments and all that. And this was in high school. And I went to Beaverton High School, and his first office was like 2 or 3 miles, maybe 2.5 miles, or yeah, it was like a mile and a half, 2 miles. It was close to Willamette Park, but it was like a mile and a half away or so. Anyways, and so getting there was like it was like a 6 or 7 mile journey to get from Beaverton High School to this doctor's office. It was a chiropractor's office. And I guess chiropractors aren't necessarily doctors, but whatever. Anyways, but getting there by the bus, it was like easily a 45-minute trip. Sometimes it would take an hour just to go 6 miles. And if it was a really busy day, if there was a lot of traffic, hour and a half, easy. I would show up, and they didn't really care. I was just kind of like, they were a small office, and this was kind of informal. I got a paycheck, obviously, but it was, ooh, maybe I didn't want to come here. Here are the suburbs. But it was informal, so they didn't really care when I showed up, just as long as I showed up and did my job when they asked me to do it. And then they moved their offices. They literally went down the road like 3 miles, and that added another 45 minutes. So I would be showing up to work, like I would get off of school at 2:30, and I would get there at like 4. And yeah, sure, the bus fare was cheap. It was only like $1 for the bus fare to get there. But I mean, for Christ's sakes, man, going 11 miles by bus took 2 hours. On it, like, if traffic wasn't good, and traffic in Portland is terrible. And so I need to find a way out of here. But it was, and when I got my car, like, man, that opened up so many possibilities. Kids always love to hear it. But it was just terrible. When I got my car, oh man, getting from there to the doctor's office was a breeze. 20 minutes maybe, be from Beaverton High School. Again, 7 miles. 7 miles, 20 minutes. Traffic was not great. Sometimes it would take me 30 minutes. But then, of course, I needed to get a different job, because at the chiropractor's office, they were, I only got like 2 days a week, and it was like a 6-hour shift or something. I'd get there at 3, and or not even 6 hours, it was like a 4-hour shift. Sometimes on Saturdays I'd get a 6-hour shift, but most of the time it was a 4-hour, 4.5-hour shift. And, you know, putting gas in the car was more expensive, so I had to get a different job. So, yeah, I had to get a different job because that job was not paying me enough to pay for my car. But with the car, I could go to another job. I could get another job. I had the freedom and range of motion to go and find a higher paying job. And this happened years later because I was working at an Albertsons while I was going to Portland Community College, and they were paying me minimum wage to do the night clerk stuff, just stocking shelves at night. And I was getting really tired of it because they were cutting my hours more and more. I originally had 35 hours a week, and then I was cut down to 30, then 25, and then 20, and then it was just like, this was in 2013, 2014. It's like, they said I was a good worker, I was a hard worker, they just couldn't afford to have me on because costs. This was when Oregon's healthcare was implemented. The healthcare bill, that for every like 1 hour you work, you have to work, I'm gonna go that way actually, or for every 30 hours you get 1 hour of healthcare, whatever. I forget what it was. Oh, I came from here. Okay. But, it was just, they were cutting my hours because literally the cost for my health insurance, which they didn't have to pay for me. I had the most basic health insurance, I guess you can say, just the most basic company health insurance that you could get through them. which wasn't that great, but I mean, like, I didn't care because I was young and healthy. Still am pretty young and pretty healthy. But, so I didn't really care about the healthcare coverage. It wasn't a point for me. And so, but I was getting tired because they were just slashing my hours, and so I didn't like the manager. Like I said, I was a hard worker, but the manager, I didn't like him. He was crap. Just always kind of at odds with, and I don't even understand why. It's like I showed up on time, I did my thing, and I'd go home. He even said I was a hard worker. I don't know, he was a dickhead. I've never liked grocery store managers. I kind of think they're the low tier. Like, if you manage a grocery store, in my experience, the people who manage it tend to be a lower tier. Not all, hashtag not all. I've had fantastic managers working in the grocery industry. But, I don't know. Maybe I'm being too harsh, because I think most managers in general are just kind of crap. I met a lot of UPS. Anyhow, but yeah, I looked for another job, and I found a job at UPS. It was same hours, basically. And I got paid $11 an hour, so $2 more. But instead of it being a mile away from my house, it was 15 miles. Or, no, it was 10 miles, because it's right next to the reserve base. And the reserve base is 10 miles from my house. So I had to go drive 20 miles a day to get to work. But I was getting paid $2 more, and I got, like I said, I didn't care about the healthcare insurance, but I got fantastic healthcare insurance. So if I ever, in the unlikely event I got sick, it's like that was taken care of. There was just, and the hours were better. I had more opportunities to get more hours. Things like that, and it's like, you know, if I had to, and it was at night, so it's like the buses aren't going at night. Wow, that was a terrible turn. But the buses aren't, like, I'd get there at like 2 or 3 in the morning to load the trucks. It's like the buses, there was no bus stop near my house. Like, I lived in this weird part of the Raleigh Hills area where I didn't, there was no bus. It's like even during the day there was a bus, there was like, I don't know how to describe it. There was a bus stop, but it only was there like 3 times a day. 2 or 3 times a day. It was there in the morning, there at night. It was just to pick people up going to and from their 9 to 5 job. And that's when it would run. It would run at like 7 in the morning, and then it would run at 6 at night. Which is another thing. It's like, man, the bus won't come until 6 o'clock at night. So that probably means the person who's riding the bus, they may get off work at 5, but they're not getting dropped off till 6. That sucks. An hour commuting on a bus. Yeah, the bus fare is $1, but your time is worth something. Your time is valuable. Anyways, to get back to just commuting to UPS, I wouldn't have been able to do it in the morning if I had to commute with bus or by light rail. It just wouldn't have happened. And it's like I was just saying with the bus, it's like that time took a lot of time to commute a short distance. It took, like I said, if you got off at 5, that bus might not be dropping you off at your house till 6 o'clock. Your time is valuable. Your time, even if you go home and you're just messing around, you know, your time is worth something. And what you do with that time is taken away from you, or it's not taken away, but if you use that time on transit because you want to only spend $1 for transit, and you want to sit on the bus, that's fine. You can read on the bus, or you can play a video game, watch a movie, whatever. But that's not what I want to do, and I don't want to have to live in a society where that time to ride the bus, that hour on the bus is spent, or that hour that I could be, I would rather spend that hour on the bus somewhere else. That's what I'm trying to say. And, you know, I'm an economics major, and that's the cost-benefit analysis, and that's what I've found works for me. I would rather work I'd rather do something with my hour at home. Even if I'm messing around, even if I'm jerking off, I'd rather do that, spend that hour. If I save 40 minutes riding my bike or driving a car home, I would rather have the cost of owning and maintaining that vehicle, so I could have that 40 minutes or hour or whatever at home, rather than spending $1 on transit. And plus, like I was saying with the vehicle, you get all these added bonuses. You can go wherever you want. You are in control of your transit. You are in control of your commuting. I would in a commuting society or with transit, you would never, like a bus out here? Yeah, right. You would never get to come out here, ever. Not in a million years, not in a billion years. I'm just messing around. I'm just screwing around. Polk County. In Polk County now. But I'd be stuck in Corvallis if it was a transit-oriented society where it was bus or rail. When I was in Poland, it's like, yeah, the buses were fine. The rail was fun to have. It was nice to take the train because it was cheap. But I mean, I'm an idiot tourist. Most tourists don't even have a rental car. We had a rental car, but we still took the train sometimes because, like, we don't want to park the car somewhere. We don't know the city at all. Those cities are not like American cities. We don't know where we're allowed to park. We don't speak the language. We don't know anything. So yeah, taking the train is easy. It's easy if you're a tourist. It's nice if you're a tourist. I'm fine spending our taxpayer dollars to set up a train so that tourists can have an easy time moving around our cities, so they can go do whatever the frick they want on those cities. But do I want to commute to work at 2 in the morning by bus and spend 2 hours riding the bus? Yeah, no, screw that. Screw that. And I think that's the big thing those European societies miss out on, is that they spend so much time planning their society, how to operate. They forget that everyone is an individual, that society is a group of individuals, and every individual has needs, wants, and desires that are different. I guess this is the way to go. This is the happening way to go. I don't know. It's just, I find it ridiculous. Oh, I know. Okay, so yeah, I'm heading back towards the highway that I was coming on from out of Corvallis originally, because those foothills, I rode those foothills a couple weeks ago. So, I don't know, I think it's kind of silly that Europe, they've planned their society so much that they don't really allow that much wiggle room for people to kind of go outside of that. If they want to own a car, yeah, you can own a car, but it's really expensive. It's a really costly thing. And we just don't have that mentality here. Now, there's a lot of stupid things America does with cars. I agree. I mean, there's a lot of things we need to do to get rid of regulations with vehicles, motor vehicles. I don't disagree at all with that. Crane. But I don't know. I like the society I live in. If the Europeans want their transit-oriented society, I mean, whatever works for them, I guess. But it's not what I would want. Anyhow, I don't know. Another thing, everything in America is so spread apart. You need a car if you're going to go anywhere. If you're going to... The other thing is, the American government, I don't know what it is. Maybe Europeans are just better at administration and governance than Americans are, but the American government is just always incompetent. I mean, like, the state of Oregon, our government is just, like, I would not want the government running transit. It's terrible now, like I was saying with the buses, but, I mean, if our government, which is in charge of the VA, which, you know, veterans commit suicide over because they don't get treatment, they don't get proper care or treatment or anything, like, do you want the same people who run that system who, you know, veterans kill themselves because they can't ever get treatment, they don't get treatment in time and all that? You want the same people who run that to run your healthcare and your transit, your transportation? Like, yeah, this is that highway. I came out here, over there, that way is Monmouth, and that way is Corvallis. But it's, I would not want those same people in charge of that stuff. That's just, like, that's retarded. I mean, what would probably happen is I'd probably kill myself waiting for the bus or the light rail or whatever. It's just stupid. That's how it is, though. I guess we're kind of blessed that the American government's so incompetent that they haven't fully taken it over yet. Ooh, I'm going to put my jacket on in a second. Whew. It's one chilly Billy. There's no good place to pull over where I'm not going to slide off into a ditch. I guess I could pull over here. God, I hate pulling off into these gravelly, ditchy roads that are an eighth of an inch wide. I hate it. But if I was a car, I couldn't even pull over at all. Okay.
Much better.
One thing about it's getting warm. That means I should be I should be good temp, because the wind will blow me off, but it will blow the heat off, but the sun will warm me up. So we'll keep a nice, cool, regulated temperature. It's not nearly as cold as the other day when I went up to Mary's Peak and was freezing my butthole off. That was cold. Not today though. Today's not nearly as cold. It was almost freezing. It was like 33 last night or something. I went out for a walk. It's just chilly to the bone. See how fast I can go. Yeah, this bike isn't too big of a bike. It's a fairly heavy cruiser. It weighs like 500 pounds or something. And the engine displacement's only 750 cc's, so it's not a sports. It's only 2 cylinders, so it's not a sports bike or anything. I can't do 260. My dad's Suzuki Bandit could easily. It could probably get up to 150 with me on it, easy. It's so beautiful out here. It's so pretty. Rolling farmlands. I'd like to live in a place like this. I have a buddy who doesn't like this, and you know, to each their own, but I like this type of stuff. Berry Creek. Maybe I'll start heading out east. Over the summer I'll head out east and do stuff like that. About Oregon is that it has this farmland like this, but in the background is just this, like, you know, it's rolling hills and small mountains and more mountains. When you head out east, there's a lot of mountains, things like that. Just beautiful. Oregon, Washington, Northern California, Idaho to a certain extent. Wyoming, or not Wyoming, Wyoming, but Wyoming is in the Pacific Northwest. Montana. I don't know. All very pretty. Poland was pretty also, but it was flat. It was just so flat until you got south. When you went south, the hills were decently sized. A lot of them were bigger than this, but like they got like that over there, like that high. That's like, and then they had some actual mountains, but go. the look of this stuff. I don't like cities too much. I'm not a fan. Yangming, whole shipping container. I always wonder, like, how stuff like that got out there. Like, who dropped that off? Or did the farmer buy it and then they just wanted a shipping container? It's like, okay, I don't get it. Where you see, like, sometimes you'll see like an old train, you know, like a caboose or something. You'll just see, like, and it's not even on railroads. Like, did they just dump it? Like, I remember I was going out to Pineville one time. We dropped by, we passed by a caboose just sitting on the side of the road, like on some farmer's land. It's just like, did the farmer want the train caboose? Like, did he want it? Did he pay for them to drop it off? I don't get it. Or did the train company, when they were disposing of this caboose, did they just get rid of it? Fuck, 4 miles. I'm gonna have to start heading back before too long. There's no gas. Oh shoot! There's no gas out here. I don't want to get stuck. I have 16 ounces, so that's what, like 10 miles or something. And then I have my Peacock, which has another 50 on it. What I'll do, there's not much service out here either. Here, let me pull over to the side of the road.
If 2 bars of 4G, you should have more than enough. Come on, GPS. Also, why can't, like, the map apps, like, download a map to your phone? Like, I'm not asking for the whole entire country, but like maybe your state or local area. I don't know. Here, I'll just start riding back. Roadkill, crap. Rode over it too. Oh, come on. You should have plenty of connection out here. I should get like a little fuel kit. Like, the biggest thing is I'm always afraid that I'm going to run out of gas. Or riding around or whatever. Now, like I said, I have a little bottle of fuel in my backpack, and I have the Petcock puts another 50 miles. But I don't know. I just, it's my biggest concern, especially since I don't know where I'm going. That is the number one problem, is that if you don't know the area too well, you can get stuck pretty easy. You have 3 bars. 3 bars. I don't know. Such beautiful country though, a lot of grass. It's probably not what they grow though. Is that grass? Yeah, it's grass. I don't know what it is. I think, it's one of the counties north, but they're the quote-unquote grass, maybe it is Lynn County, grass seed capital of the world. This is Lynn County, I think. I'm fairly certain. Who knows? That's stupid that he has to go clean out trash from his thing. I hate that. I hate when people litter. I hate that. I was at the low end of my so much moisture in there. You can't even see even see the mountains. That's east though. Over there, that's east. I don't know what that is. That might be Mount Jefferson? I don't know. 3 bars! 4 bars! You can't find stuff. At this point, they're just screwing with me. I don't like Apple Maps, but it's because integrated with iPhone, it works a little better. But Google Maps is way more accurate. It's better at finding better routes and all that stuff. Berry Creek. I know where I'm going. I just want to have 20 miles left in my gas tank. I don't want to... I don't know. I don't know. Christmas tree farm. A lot of Christmas trees growing in Oregon. There's a lot of Christmas tree farms. There's a lot near around Corvallis. It's kind of funny. A lot of Christmas tree farms. It's because they like growing up here. The Douglas fir, which is, I think we're an exporter of Christmas trees around the world. Who knows? Oh, it's stuff coming out of there. It's like, I don't know. Looks like frost, but it's not frost. Maybe it's lime. They put lime on the ground. Who knows? I don't know anything about farming really. Does this way go anywhere? Ooh. Yeah, no. I don't want to die. This bike is not made for gravel roads. My SUV? Sure. That's the other thing. With my motorcycle, it's like I can just decide when I want to turn off. Like, am I going to just stop for a minute or whatever? With my car, you can't really decide that. Now, with the car, it's like sometimes I listen to music or whatever in my motorcycle. Sometimes I'll go for a ride where I'm just riding around and listening to something. That's cathartic. There's a crane out there. he blew up a lot of wind when he passed me. Love it. This isn't a sports bike, but it's a pretty fast bike. And there's the highway up there, and Corvallis is the out away. Is it beeping? Yeah, it's beeping. Who knows? Richard's Store. Probably can't read it. It's that store. Across the highway. Granny's and Granny's Gardens. Am I gonna be stuck behind the garbage truck? Christ almighty. Highway is my domain, cars. Vehicles. Oh man, that buffeted me real bad. I do not like passing trucks on the highway because they act like a wind barrier, like, I don't know how to describe it, but there's just like this weird suction zone behind a truck. And when you're behind it, it's nice and calm, but then you get out and it's just buffeting you and it's terrible. It's worse. It's worse than like these cars, these small cars, they do have, there is a little bit with these cars. And even like, but a truck even like that, like a pickup truck like that, I don't know what it is, but they buffet enough wind. I don't know how to describe it. It just kind of buffets you and it's bad. E.E. Wilson. God. Camp Adair. I'll go over there sometime, but that's National Guard Training Center, if I recall correctly? Army Reserve? I don't know. Marine Corps is where it's at, baby. If you ain't a Green Marine, you ain't not. Nah, just kidding. I kind of find it funny that, like, the Marine Corps, of all the service branches, has, like, a severe case of little man syndrome. I don't know how to describe it, but it's like, we Marines, we like to act tough and arrogant and all this stuff, but if anyone says anything, we get super triggered about it. I find it kind of funny. Little man syndrome. God, so many bugs have hit. I don't know how, but I hit so many bugs with my wind visor. I'm kind of glad that I wear a visor instead of like goggles, or I don't even know how people. I don't know how people like can ride a motorcycle without like there's some people who are crazy. They'll go and ride without like face protection. It's like Christ Almighty. Adair Village. I find it funny that in America we have villages. I think of villages as really it's a European thing, and America is all about not being Europe, except when it comes to villages. In military traditions, again, connecting this to the Marine Corps, it's like, I thought America was all about not being Europe, and Europe is all about their military traditions. You talk to the Europeans, oh, our Coldstream Guards, they do this. The 5th Royal Engineers, they do this. The Royal Fusiliers, they do this. The artillery, they do this. It's like, I can't think of anything more trivial than traditions, honestly. Like, and I say that, and I'm a Marine, and one of the things the Marine Corps is renowned for is the traditions, but I don't know, they're just kind of, it's like, the Marine Corps isn't dangerous because of its traditions necessarily. Some traditions, sure, but like, drill, okay. My drill moves aren't going to kill ISIS. Tight sleeves aren't going to kill ISIS. Now, one argument I have heard is that some of these traditions reinforce certain, characteristics of being a Marine, like discipline, like having tight sleeves. If you have good tight sleeves, it shows that you're a squared off and well-disciplined Marine, and that, I guess, can be true, but it can also not be true. I've met plenty of really crappy Marines who knew how to roll their sleeves very well, but they're just garbage and terrible. I've known many great Marines who, they didn't care to roll their sleeves because they're just focused on doing other things, getting the job done and doing a good job at getting the task done, rather than frivolously worrying about what they look like, how their sleeves look, and things like that. And it's, I don't know. I mean, yeah, if every Marine, if it worked that way, if every good Marine, squared away Marine, if they all rolled their sleeves well, yeah, I would agree, but it just doesn't always work out that way. And that's not to say that all good Marines don't roll their sleeves good and all crappy Marines roll their sleeves great. I've seen plenty. I would say more often than not, one way you can judge a Marine by their character is by how well they care to roll their sleeves. But I mean, there are outliers, like I was saying, there are Marines who don't roll their sleeves well, but they're great Marines. They know how to do their job. Like, I've met plenty of radio operators who, they knew the MOS back to front. They were like a walking encyclopedia of MOS knowledge of radio operating skill. And then there are other radio operators who, they could barely program a plain text VHF frequency, but their sleeves were on point and tight. And it's just, drill movements. We got yelled at in the field for not knowing drill movements. It's like, well, one, we never practiced drill. Two, why would we waste time why would we devote any time to practicing drill moves when it has nothing to do with our MOS, nothing to do with our jobs as Marines?
I'm sorry that we forgot drill moves, but it's just, if you don't use it, you lose it, and we don't use it, so we lose that drill. Sorry, Gunny, but that's just how it is. I know you may you may think of drill as a very important thing because it's a time-honored Marine Corps tradition. More than anything else, the Marine Corps, out of all the branches, takes drill as a very important, you know, it's one of the things taught at boot camp. They devote a lot of time to it. I don't know, but I'm more utilitarian. I would prefer the Marine Corps focuses on making sure that we do the job we need to do, which is defend the United States. And my job specifically as a radio operator is to make sure that communications are up and that my unit can talk to whoever it needs to talk to in order to accomplish the mission. And I'm sorry, but drill just doesn't do that. So I would rather show how well ordered and disciplined and how professional we are by doing a good job rather than focusing on honestly rather frivolous things like drill, sleeves. I like the winter, and we're now in the winter months. I like the winter because the sleeves are down. It's just like I just put my uniform on and I go to drill. Not like close order drill, but like, you know, muster. My 1 week in a month because I'm a dirty reservist. And it's not as much faff. It's not as much, well, whatever. Or service uniforms. Honestly, service uniforms and dress uniforms, all they are is that it's just a dick measuring contest. That's the only point. The only reason why you wear a ribbon, and yeah, I'm not saying people don't deserve the ribbons and they don't deserve the medals, but they're just there to, you know, make you feel good for what you did, and that's fine. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't do it, but it's like I'm not focused on that. That's not me. If ribbons and medals are important to you, and because you did a good service, because you got a combat action ribbon, then yeah, you deserve it. And you deserve to have the bragging rights of having a combat action ribbon or whatever. But it's not my thing. It's not what I want to do. I want to, you know, I want to do stuff because it's what I want to do, not because I'm going to get a good boy point. Because that's kind of how I see it from my perspective. Medals and ribbons and all that stuff, they're good boy points, and you know, that's just not what I'm about. I'm not about, wow, again, second time today, God, I need to kick harder. But I'm not into the whole chest candy situation, getting ribbons, getting good boy points. It's just not my thing. I'd rather be known as a good Marine just because my reputation precedes me, rather than having to walk around with something on my chest that says I'm a good Marine. Because going back to the, you know, tight sleeves and all that, your chest candy doesn't, again, that doesn't describe necessarily who you are as a person. If you have a combat action ribbon and, you know, with a Valor, you know, or if you have a Valor award because you did something awesome, yeah, I mean that describes maybe something as you as a character, as your character. But we're now in peacetime, and a lot of Marines nowadays, a lot of the junior enlisted, they don't get that opportunity to demonstrate that. So it's like, okay, you don't get the opportunity to demonstrate who you are as a person. And kind of my whole outlook on my philosophy of life is just, you know, be a person that your reputation precedes you. Now, a lot of my friends would say, oh, well, you know, that's maybe not a good thing for you because you're autistic and you say all sorts of BS and you're full of yourself, blah blah blah. But it's like, I mean, maybe to you, but a lot of people, I don't know.
Ah, this lane ends. I forgot. But a lot of people, I think, they may know me as someone who's very driven and all that. That's how I kind of think I'm seen. But I don't know. I like to think of myself as someone who's a hard worker and pretty dedicated. That's how I want to be known, and I don't know if there's a ribbon for that. The dedication ribbon. The dedication medal. A lot of awards nowadays, like a lot of the Navy Achievement Medal, Navy Marine Corps Achievement Medal, NAMs, they're kind of just handed out because if you don't hand them out for no reason, then nobody will get them, and so it's just kind of a pointless medal. Oh, you got an achievement medal for doing your job. Good job. Here's a good boy point. A good cookie ribbon. Oh, you went 4 years without doing something stupid. Good job. Good cookie award. I don't know. I would rather slim down the medals and ribbons, and it's like, just have it for stuff you actually did, like, you know, you helped someone under fire, something like that. That's just me, though. But yeah, dress uniforms and service uniforms. I like the Marine Corps dress uniform, and in all honesty, it was one reason why I wanted to join, because if I'm gonna have to wear a dress uniform, I might as well wear the best looking one. And that's just a fact. The Marine Corps has objectively, it is a scientifically proven fact that the United States Marine Corps has the best looking dress blues out of any armed service branch in the entire world. And the service alphas look great. I don't really care about the tan or the Charlies or anything. The Chucks. But the ones with the dress blue alphas and bravos and the service alphas, top tier, honestly. And if I'm gonna have to wear those at any point in my life, might as well go with the best. But they're just there to stroke your ego, and I'm not really about stroking my ego necessarily. I think, and before that a whole diatribe a minute ago was you stroking your ego about how you would like to view yourself. Maybe. I'm just saying how I'd like to be viewed. Am I viewed like that? I don't know. I think I am. But, you know, is that how the cookie crumbles? I don't know. I do not know. But I am not about stroking my ego. At least I don't think. I find it cringy, honestly. Like, I go back and watch old YouTube videos where I do something and it sounds egotistical or something, and it's like, ugh. Or my roommates will sometimes point out that, you know, I said something that's like, oh, you know, calm, get off your high horse. And it's like, oh yeah, I guess that is a bit egotistical. And there's just something cringy about it. I don't know. What are you doing, lady? She like ran out into the street. That was weird. Not my thing, though. Not my thing at all. At least I don't think it. Well, okay, how about this? When I notice that I'm doing it, it's cringy, and I hate it.